Hi, I'm Dr. Gaby Cora and welcome to my show, Dr. Gaby's Take, Make Life Interesting. Welcome to Season 1, Episode 10, Social Judgment and Resilience. Today we're going to talk about different issues that have to do with this topic. The first one is that we usually take things for granted. So for example, as a woman, if I fell in love with a man, no one would question if I wanted to get married to this man. No one would question if we wanted to have kids. Or no one would even question if I would seek to have a job after I finished college. These are things that we usually take for granted. A second point that I want to make today is social norms. We usually tend to these social norms. They're ingrained in us. So for example, let's say a young man who's married and has a child goes to work, goes to a potential interview to get a new job, and he's not going to expect to be asked who's going to take care of his child. Whereas a woman, even though she may know that she should not be asked this question, may expect to be asked who's going to take care of her child while she's at the job. Actually, that happened to me one time, a long time ago. So again, we know that these are not legally accepted things, but at the same time, socially, there may be some norms that we usually abide to. And there's different social norms around gender issues, around family issues, and around career issues too. The third point that is very relevant to today's show is lack of acceptance. And lack of acceptance has a lot to do with previous expectations, with ignorance that we may have. We may not know what we're talking about, or we may not know exactly what's going on. We may be misinformed, or we may just lack the experience within that medium. So today's show is going to be very interesting in terms of these topics. Watch and we'll chat later. Thanks for watching the show. My guests today are Simone, Mayda, and Mayda Perez. These are amazing ladies who are entrepreneurs, who are together, and who are both the moms of 3 beautiful children. Watch the show, and I look forward to chatting with you later. Hi, I'm here with Simone Mayda and with Mayda Perez in a great conversation about family, about being a couple, and about being able to raise and have an extended family too. So tell me a little bit of your story. Which one of you would like to get started?
Well, I can start. Okay. We've been together for 20 years. This October it was 20 years together. We met in New York, and then we migrated down to Miami like all true New Yorkers do.
Eventually did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long ago did you come to Miami?
Oh, about 15 years ago.
So you were in New York for 5 years before coming down here?
A little less than that, right? Yeah, came in 95, so yeah. We met in New York, and I was in school and working, and then we were both working, and then Mayda came down here to work for a couple of years, and I had to finish up in New York, and then I came down here, and we've been down here ever since. We're very happy here in Miami.
Good. And from the beginning, did you notice any differences about living together in New York in comparison to living together here in Florida?
Well, the biggest difference is that in New York we really were not living together. We were together, but you know, I met Mayda when I was 21, and Mayda's a few years older than me. I always, you know, tease her that she plucked me out of my youth. And you know, she's been the love of my life, you know, since I was 21. I don't mind telling you, so that's, you know, half of my life. And so when we were in New York, I had my own apartment, and Mayda had her own apartment, and you know, I went through a process where I was trying to discover if I was in fact gay and if I wanted to, you know, be with a woman, and what, you know, the whole process was. And it was a very, very tough decision, as it is, you know, for many. And I say decision, it's not that I chose to be gay. I was really trying to understand what I was, what I wanted for my life. I truly believe that whether I'm gay or I'm not gay, it's irrelevant. I found the person I want to be with for the rest of my life, and that person happens to be a woman.
And you know, this is an interesting conversation, because just this past week, and I know this is a very hot topic for many people. You know, are we born this way? Do we make choices and selections and elections during our life? And from what you're saying, it looks like you really went through a period of discovery.
Yes.
But at the same time, it looks like you really make the choice to be together.
Yeah.
It's very clear to you,
yeah,
right?
Very, very much. I mean, it was a few years of working very, very hard on myself to understand, you know, what I wanted. And I didn't have very much family support at the time. Hardly any family support, you know, emotional support about that. My family was not very accepting of the decision that I'd made to be with Mayda, and you know, that's really a choice that they made, and we've since come to understand each other a lot better, and we're very, very close, and they're close to Mayda, and she's close to them, and you know, our 3 kids would never know that we went through so many years of struggle. But it's a beautiful thing how things have turned full circle. Back then it was very complex, and it was a very difficult coming out process.
So it looks like it was a time for fighting for what you really wanted for yourself and your life, and standing for yourself.
Right, understanding what we wanted, and then, you know, seeing the finish line and trying to figure out the steps we needed to take to get to that finish line. When I moved out to Florida, it was to be in Florida and start my life in Florida, be close to my family who had already moved down here. But Mayda was down here, and I knew at that point that I really didn't want to live without her.
Wow, that's a very nice story. How about you, Mayda? What's your side of the story?
No. I mean, in fact, I mean, we met, and you know, I knew that she was the woman I wanted to be with, but I also knew that she needed to go through a process, because I really didn't want to be with somebody who, let's say, you know, 7 years down the line said, oh, you know what, I really didn't think this through, and you know, this is not right for me, or this is not the decision, you know, I wanted to make, or and I knew it was necessary. It was difficult, but it's something that we went through, and I think it made us stronger.
Absolutely.
You know,
yeah.
in the beginning, we always spoke about having children, but this was something that we had to go through in order to make sure that we could be a family.